Hi, fourth graders. Welcome back to day 2 of your engineering earthquake challenge. All right, so if we can just review before we talk about what you're going to do today, let's review what you should have done yesterday. All right, so if you remember yesterday for day 1, what you were supposed to have done is you should have identified what the problem was in your own words in your science journal. You should have watched those 3 videos that gave you some ideas about how you could design earthquake resistant building. And then you should have sketched and labeled your plan. That you should have done in your science journal. And then you should have taken a picture of that and imported it into your engineering earthquake journal. If you don't remember where to get that science and engineering journal, remember that in your science journal, the paper journal that you have in front of you, you scanned this QR code right here, and it took you to your earthquake journal. All right, so you should have right now, if you can go ahead and turn to your earthquake engineering journal, maybe split screen. If not, just take a mental note of what you should have completed. You should have completed what the problem is in your own words. You also should have imagined a solution. Next, you should have drawn a picture of what you think your design will look like using some of those ideas that you saw from the video, from those 3 videos, maybe a lot of those ideas. And then if you had time, you may have built. So now let's talk about what are we going to do today. So on day 2, what we're going to do is you are going to build today. You're going to test, and then you're going to record your observations. Then you're going to create a video reflection. So in step 4, where you build, test, and record your observations, you're not creating a video of your test. The only video that you're going to complete is your reflection. And then you're going to upload your video onto your Google Slide presentation. And if you have time, you're going to start on your redesign sketch. So what does that look like in your journal? So when you complete your test, when you do your tapping for 15 seconds, which is similar to the Mercalli scale of 5, you're going to type in your observations in your engineering earthquake journal. Then you're going to, if your building survives, if it doesn't, you stop right there. If it does survive and there's no damage, you're going to go on to test number 2, which is a Mercalli scale of about 7. So light tremors or shakes for 15 seconds. And in a moment, I'm going to show you what that will look like. And if your building survives again after that level 7 on the Mercalli scale earthquake, then you're going to go ahead and do some stronger tremors, which would have the Mercalli scale of 9. Either way, so if your building survives all 3 of those, you still need to think about, how can I improve it? Was there any weakness? Is there anything that I can add? And maybe this would make it even stronger. Did you see it sway a lot? Or was it completely firm and sturdy, even with the shakes? So you might want to be thinking like an engineer on what you can do to make the building less destructive and disruptive to the people that are living inside the building. All right. And then when you're done with your testing, the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to create a reflection video. So your reflection video should answer all of these ticketed points right here. So before you start to reflect on how your design performed, make sure you have the design in your hand so you can visually show your viewer what you're talking about. And then you're going to discuss, how did your design do in each of the shakes? What did you notice about the way your structure performed in the earthquake? Were there and what are the failure points in the structures or in your structure? Can you alter that part of the design but still keep the parts that worked? Were some connections between the materials better than other connections? So you might want to think about that when you do your redesign. And then what would you adjust or change in your next design? If you have time today, the next thing that you're going to do is you are going to start on your redesign for your second prototype. For this redesign, there's a little bit of a twist in that now that you think you have built a sturdy building, we're going to add a live load. So what a live load is engineers add live loads to kind of see how the building will perform in reality. So a live load can be people or models of people. It can be Legos to represent people, or it can be just like any kind of objects you have around the house. It could be marbles. It could be just a crumpled up sheet of paper. And they can represent people, and they can also represent the furniture. Because remember, in part of the Mercalli scale is identifying how strong the earthquake was based off of how things rattled and moved around. So in this redesign, you are going to build a stronger building and add a live load. So you're going to sketch on your paper journal that you should have in front of you, what you see here on the screen, your redesign sketch, and then you're going to take a picture of that and import that into your science and engineering journal, the digital one. All right. Now, let's go ahead and see what this testing for today, day 2, is going to look like. So here we go. Hi, 4th graders. All right, so here is my first prototype. I've already sketched it out in my engineering journal. And now the actual platform that I'm going to use is the box that your supplies came in. You could use that. You could also use the styrofoam plate, or you can find another cardboard box. And one of the rules were that I can actually tape this to the ground. So if I didn't, I know automatically, even with small taps, this thing's going over. It is 25 inches, and it's actually 27 inches, so that's great. It's taller than it needs to be. But I'm going to go ahead and tape this guy down onto my platform because I can do that. That's part of the rules. You don't have to do it, but it might seem helpful. And then the other thing that I need now is my iPad. So I'm going to find my clock app on my iPad, and I'm going to set my timer, for 15 seconds. And for round number 1, Mercalli scale of 5, it's going to be light tremors. So I'm just going to tap for 15 seconds. Okay? On your marks, get set, go. Okay, I have some observations there. I'm not sure if you have any observations to share, but if you did, if this was your structure, what was some of the observations that you made? Okay, some of the ones that I made is the guys up top were kind of swaying a lot more than the guys at the bottom. So thinking in my head, even in a Mercalli scale of 5, if my apartment or my condo or my house was up here, I would be pretty scared if this was a real earthquake. I would have a lot of jiggling, right? So I might not want to live there for very long. So I'm thinking about what I can do to strengthen this right now in my head. Okay, round 2. So round 2 is a Mercalli scale of 7. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit my platform back and forth about an inch both ways. Okay, for 15 seconds. And make some observations about what you see happening here in your building. All right, and okay, now make some observations in your science journal. So you would pause your device here, or pause your iPad, and go ahead and go back into your engineering earthquake journal and write down your observations. All right, for round 3, this is a Mercalli scale of about 9. So I'm going to vigorously shake my device. All right, I'm going to shake my platform, and let's see what's going to happen. Again, I'm going to do this for 15 seconds. And go. Okay, I think we know what happened. All right, so one thing that you might want to do is you might want to actually videotape, just for your own knowledge. You might want to videotape or slow-mo or time-lapse your building, just to kind of see what's going on. and then you can make better observations for round 2 tomorrow. All right. If you have any questions about what you're supposed to do, please come to the Science Zoom help. We're there to help you. Just scan that code on the first page of your journal. Have a good day 2 of your Earthquake Solutions Challenge.